Yeah, that tree's gotta grow. Alright, we got zombies nearby. They've gotta go. Okay, so I should be able to build a staircase now. Yeah, I just need a bunch of planks. I mean, it's worth doing it. If a job doesn't make you happy, if it makes you miserable, think about how much of your day you are committing to your job to be unhappy. Like, so if you can make time to get the training, education, whatever you need to give yourself more opportunities, it's worth it so long as you can reasonably afford it and all that. Yep, just knowing that you don't have to put up with crap at a job makes the job easier to deal with. It also makes it easier to deal with, like, the negotiations with bosses and all that, because, you know, they'll come in there and they'll have some demand that you find completely unreasonable, and you're going, I hope you know I can just leave. Like, that's not a difficult thing for me to do. And it really just takes her ability to, like, hold your job over you. Because then it's about keeping you happy versus, you know, effectively ransoming you for, or not ransoming, holding you hostage because, like, health insurance or whatever. Yep, that's what we just got a point for. So we're almost a point of rain barrels. Alright. Catch you later. But yeah, no, that's, like, that to me is the big thing that makes everything work so much better for everyone involved in the process, is just when your staff can actually go and make choices with autonomy where, you know, if I'm not happy in a job, I can leave. And that's a real option. Like, that makes things better for your company. Because otherwise it just otherwise you're just end up being crappy, your staff is miserable, their service is miserable, they have zero desire to support you as a company just because you pissed them off. All that kind of stuff. But when you're having, like, kind of a fair negotiation between them, it means they want to be there, you want to be there, kind of whole thing. I haven't fallen off a roof that wasn't me goofing off yet. And goofing off was like going to the prison, getting a bunch of guns from the armory, and just blasting, knowing we were going to die from being overwhelmed. But I'm also, if you notice, when I get on the stairs, I get very careful about where I'm moving around. We used to have 100-something planks there that I was like, we won't run out of those hardly ever. Yet here we are, and we're burning through them fast. Now my hope is this will be considered an interior space once I get this roof on here. Because it's a simple rectangle, and we didn't do anything fancy with it. They're putting a roof on it. Sloped roof? No. The base game, there isn't even like an actual roof tile. You just put, you know, floor on the floor above. Yeah, I know I can go into debug and check it, and I like never ever do. Hey, Mashin Kimi, how's it going? I need to start figuring out dinner soon, and I'm still eating my lunch because I'm being bad about it. Got beat at cards, but still had fun. Oh, yep. The world is going well, so let's see if the temperature changes significantly when we walk inside. That is an interior space. That'll work. Because I'm noticing my temperature is changing, like, predictably when I go in. Which means, once I have a little bit more carpentry... Wait. Yeah, once I have carpentry 7, I can make the big rain barrels on top. I believe that's carpentry 7. Let me double check. Yeah, carpentry 7. I can make the rain barrels on top. Alright, so let's put these back down. Get the planks off per person, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a wrench, because now I can grab some sinks and put them inside here for the rain barrels. Actually, so this is, yeah. So I'll put a line of floor here and put the rain barrels hanging over slightly. Because by doing this, then when I go to put the sinks in, I can just plumb them directly from here and not have to deal with them being on top and lining them all up. Alright, wrench. No. There is no, like... So, gravity is a concern for you, the person falling off and hurting yourself, but gravity isn't a concern for platforms at all. They can, you know, hang out. No, for plumbing, I believe they can't be directly over. They have to be over and to the side by 1, unless something has changed. And as I recall, a bunch of these houses down here had sinks that look basically the same type. They're the chrome sinks. So I can grab a couple of these and they'll all match. Kill these zombies. You can. The danger is if you ever fall, falling in this game is a good way to die. But it can make a path that's very hard and awkward for the zombies to navigate. And then they can fall off the path. Oh, I think my Discord audio settings got messed up. Give me one moment. Hello. Okay, yeah. So that should be all fixed. Then are you both about ready to hop in?
I'm not sure about the others. Check.
No problem. You know, I'm going to adjust your volume here in a second. You're pretty quiet for me.
For some reason, you're quiet for me too.
Huh.
Discord does this often, I found.
Yep. I've changed. No problem. And I've changed my mind about going in those houses for the sinks in the dark, where I'm liable to just walk into a zombie and get in bad shape. I do want the sinks, I just think I'm going to wait till it's not dark to get them. Gotcha. Yeah, I actually have never tried building particularly high either, because, I mean, one, you can't build stairs, so you get pretty high carpentry, so that's one thing, and then the wood cost is very high. Alright, get ourselves nice and sleepy. Just let our sleep medicine do its magic before we call it. But it does sound like we will be switching over to our multiplayer pretty soon. I wanted to sleep longer than that game. What is that? It feels like sometimes when you do the sleeping stuff, this is the thing, wakeful is such a powerful trait, but it is also so annoying when you're trying to avoid being out when you're asleep. How fast will you die? I mean, if you're weak out of practice, probably pretty fast. Like, and that's true for everyone. Like, if I don't play Project Zomboid for like a full week, I'm gonna do like an accumulator run before I hop on a character I care about. Otherwise, I'm just gonna die because I'm, you know, rusty.
That sounds like a smart idea to do.
Yep. Yeah, it just depends, Bashin Kimi, if you're on a character you care about. If you're not a character you care about, then meh. Yeah. It is, in fact, a very harsh world. List. Yeah, like I was mentioning earlier, we usually do multiplayer on Tuesdays. So that's what we were doing then. But hopping back onto our solo run. Do want to get our carpentry up enough that I can put the rain barrels up there. So we're going to keep taking stuff apart. I probably shouldn't actually get out of my truck with a zombie that close. I don't believe there's much to take apart in there that I want to take apart. Not really there. Not the houses. Let's see if there's anything near the church, because I know we already went in the church and took apart all the pews. But I don't think we checked the gazebo or that area around there, so I'm going to quickly check that. Because basically what we're trying to do is we're trying to just get our carpentry up, get some more supplies for carpentry. I just want to get the rain barrels set up. So first I want to check the gazebo over here. See if there's stuff to take apart worthwhile. And we are starting to see where all these trees are sprouting up and kind of taking over the place, making it hard to see. Thank you for everyone who's hanging out. I do hope everyone is enjoying when we do the multiplayer. I know a lot of people were asking for it. Yeah, okay, there are picnic benches here. I thought so. I also know a lot of people want me to either like host a server or something like that, but the thought of overfishing in Project Zomboid for purposes of making fertilizer, I mean, I don't have a problem with it. I don't know how efficient it is, but it's not like it would hurt anything. You know, like in game, it's not like you can overfish and then the fish are just gone from an area. You just come back in 6 hours and they're back. In-game hours. Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, and plus, like, you do the whole juggle with, between eating your vegetables to lose weight and eating fish to gain weight. That if you just have an abundance of one or the other, like, you can use the fish to get yourself more vegetables faster. Oh, right, that's all that plastic furniture. I can't take that apart. Hey, Appalachian Connection, how's it going? You know, I'm going to take these lights. So round outdoor lights is what I'm taking. Because we'll use those at our base to help light up the area. There's definitely zombies inside, I hear them. But I want to ditch these lights in the back of the truck before we do anything. Oh, right. I remember what we were doing. We're gonna go to those nicer houses. Well, not nicer houses. We're gonna go to those houses near the, where we live to get the chrome sinks. Because I believe all 3 houses have a chrome sink, so if I yank the chrome sink, we can have sinks in our place to hook up the water barrels to. And then plus we'll be in those houses so we can take apart the furniture. And we were gonna do that the last day we were playing here, but what ended up happening was, it was just so dark and rainy that we're like, maybe we don't. Also gonna check to see if we have any news about the helicopter, because I don't know when that's gonna be. Oh, right. There's no furniture to take apart because I took it apart. Cool. We did manage to get it. So that's a chrome sink. I want one from each house, and I'm going to take apart the cabinet. I do hope everyone's having a wonderful evening. I do hope everyone's enjoying the stream. Yeah, I very much enjoy all the emotes. Just waiting for this to let me know if the helicopter is coming, and if it's not, I'll go back to disassembling things. Nope, no helicopter. Wait, O counter is the ones I want. Don't disassemble that. Stop it. Put it away. Because I do want one more of these. Cool. I believe that should be the last one, because that'll give us the full, like, U shape we were going for our counters in there. Alright, we'll just start taking apart the rest of the furniture in here. Oh, and there's a 4th light we can take, because that's also a round light. Okay, I don't have a welding mask with me, so can't take it apart. They're not worried about picking up the nails at all right now. Hey, Telgrum. Yeah, now there's a lot of sounds like the wolves and all that. That's like, okay, what would happen if that actually did move zombies around? Thought you'd try to buy lion mustard. Interesting. I'm unfamiliar with lion mustard. Oh yeah, we passed 6,000 kills. Oh, one thing I should probably do is update our to-do list. Okay. I can probably make that bigger too. Cool. So yeah, just updated our to-do because I'm at this point considering Ekron pretty much cleared because we wander around, we see maybe 4 zombies, and then we move on. Ah, a German mustard ban from 1903. Cool. Do I want the gray lamp? Nah. They have mustard with 4 components: vinegar, mustard corns, salt, and some water. Yeah, there's a lot of the old brands that they didn't add a bunch of extra stuff that makes, makes them pretty decent. But like, there's also ones. Cool, is that Electronics 3? Awesome. They're like, nowadays they add all sorts of extra stuff, and sometimes that extra stuff is, very beneficial to the product. Other times it's just filler. Gotcha. Well, cool. I personally don't do mustard very often. It's not really my thing. Like, I'll use mustard as a cooking ingredient, decent enough, but not too much. Wisbeak says, I thought the workers had to run the gauntlet of lions to harvest the mustard seed. Gotcha. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that's like really concerning to me about that sort of stuff where people are all willy-nilly about. It's like, okay, well, you can lose your sense of taste and smell for a long time. It's like, but why would that be something I would be willing to accept? Like, why would I risk it? Gotcha. Alright, and I want to take one more of these lights. Make sure we're clear before I start tearing anything apart. I'm surprised. Oh no, right, that's right. I wasn't doing carpentry when I came in here. I was strictly trying to get the beds and the cabinets last time. It had nothing to do with carpentry. That's why we have all the wood stuff still sitting around, because I was like, why would I take just that? So there's another chrome sink. Right, and I don't need the oak counter because I've already got plenty. So you start a run in the mall, in the Valley Station, and 16x pop, no respawn. Oh, so like Pillow's random spawn puts you in the mall? Like the mall itself? Or like the little shopping center at Valley Station? Because it puts you in the mall itself, that would be absurd. Let's take the light before I forget, or I will. Yeah, because that would be absurd. Like, that's one of those runs that I'd be like, alright, I know I'm in a terrible spot of the map for starting, but I want to see if I can make this work. And then just try and, you know, do split pulls and see if we can't just slowly get the zombies in. Because one of the other nice things about the mall is most of the windows on the outside can't be broken. It's just the doors. So you can get like all the zombies stuck all over those windows, just letting them hammer on them all the day and just come out and clear house. Yeah, and that's just typically how 16x pops comes when you're in any area that has any type of zombie population. It'll seem like you're making no headway on the zombies. You'll see the pile of corpses and your body count going up. The emergencies exits are a pain, trust me. I will take your word for it. I've never considered starting in the mall and fighting my way out before. That does sound like it'd be an interesting playthrough, though. Like, I could definitely see that would be a unique and enjoyable experience. Well, a unique experience that some people might find enjoyable. Yeah, so we're not going to make a huge amount of progress with carpentry with just these things, but that's okay, because we're getting a bunch of nails, and we're getting our electronics and all that. And part of the reason I'm not worrying about the planks now is it's a little tedious to drag them out, and between the sinks and all the other stuff, the truck's gonna be mostly full anyways. So what I'm kind of expecting is we'll take some of those fireman axes or hand axes, and we've got way too many little trees kind of propping up all around the house. So I'm gonna go around, chop those all down, get a log from a bunch of those. That'll give us a bunch of boards for a while. We'll end up sawing them to give us more carpentry skill. I guess at some point I need to be on the watch out for like a really nice television to drag home as well. For when we go to watch VHS tapes and all that. Because free skill is always fantastic. I shouldn't say free. Skill you can get by just watching the TV is fantastic. Gotcha. Yeah, and I know there's like the bay doors in the one side of the building and all that. I can imagine those get sketchy as all get out the moment the zombies start hearing noise anywhere. The good thing about the old mall, pretty good food supplies, a library, one shop for nails and stuff, and 2 storage units with shops, or between the shops. If you're lucky, you get a torch and you have pipes for days. If not, it's, getting crowbars for 10 days, from Zeds. Yeah. Yeah, that's like the thing. People always ask me, it's like, oh, well, how's the loot at the mall? It's like, alright, like, variety-wise, it's great. In actual volume-wise, it's not terrible, but it's pretty middling. Like, you're not upset about the loot, but you're also not, like, super ecstatic about the loot. That said, it does have a pretty decent, like, supply. Now, if you're playing with respawns and all that, yeah. No supermarket, like, the food supply is only, like, so good. But, yeah. Now, if you're playing with no respawn, actually getting in and doing stuff in the mall, like, it's just entirely too many zombies for what you're getting. Like, that'd be my main issue, is, like, the risk-value proposition. The risk is just too dang high. It's one of those houses that just went in the back door and he never bothered clearing the front. Okay, I'm gonna pop open and close the front door just so that's not an issue in the future. We actually got 3 for 3 in those sinks. That is not something I expected. Like, usually I'm like 1 for 2 or 1 for 3 or so sinks like that. We'll move the truck up here as well. Yep, that would be my other concern, like, especially with the way I do my characters where it's 0 to hero. I think I wouldn't be able to do a mall start just because, like, while I had good weapons, things would be great. But once I started running out of good weapons, it would go south so fast. That's actually one of the fun things about hitting one of these towns. Like, we started in the pharmacy in this town, so I had like 5 things of beta blockers and a whole bunch of other stuff. It's like, alright, I guess I just need to worry about these ever in this run. Like, I think at this point at the house, I think we have like 15 things of beta blockers. I mean, I've got 3 whole cases, or, well, 3 containers of beta blockers that are Two of them can be combined at this point. So it's just, if you go to the right places, just certain items become just not a thing you even have to worry about. Yep. Yeah, and even on my builds, usually by the time I've gone through a second or third crowbar, like I've got enough maintenance skill that I can get by not having to pick up every single weapon. Your character surviving on nothing but stale popcorn. I mean, that sounds like a way you survive in a zombie apocalypse, but also sounds super depressing. Like, we've joked in, like, what's going to happen. Is my music not playing? What's going on? Okay, it was just being weird. Okay. But yeah, you know, we joke that's like, oh, you get melted ice cream, super sad. I'm like, no, you know what's super sad? Living on nothing but bowls of cabbage for months at a time. That is super sad. Give me the melted ice cream. I've done those runs, and those runs, like... So I've done the run where, you know, you start at the bookstore or whatever. And you're just like, alright, well, I'm going to read all my books now. And so you read all the books, you eat, like, what little food there was in the fridge or whatever. And then you go out, and because the zombies have all, like, clumped up into clusters, and, you know, some are, like, right at your door, and you just die immediately, like, alright. I just spent how long reading books to just die immediately because the zombies were physically covering the door, so when I opened it, they just, you know, dumped in, and there wasn't a place for me to go. Alright, after this TV, I need to go outside because I'm hearing zombies outside, and this isn't a safe place. Like, there's a bunch of busted out windows and such. Sounds like it's over here. Probably a decent ways out, but I can't tell. Okay. I also... So, real talk to Project Zomboid. So it's been not quite 3 months, and this is what's happened to this house. Like, the whole house has been completely overrun by vines. The foundation is clearly severely compromised over here. And it's like, alright, don't get me wrong. You would get to this point where this house would be this dilapidated and awful. But, like, it's 2 months. Hey, Budcats, how's it going? But it's like, it takes a little bit longer than you're presenting it. What are you trying to have me test? That's a real question here. Hey, Omega Zomboid, how's it going? Playing with the NPC mod, there are a lot of bugs, but it's sort of funny to see them run around in a panic. Yep. I am curious how the addition of NPCs are going to be. Like, I know way back they had NPCs, and they got rid of them for a while. And I am very cautious about the NPCs. Like, I'm not sure how I feel about them, because I feel like it's going to change the feel of the game from the lone survivor to the absolutely definitely not the lone survivor. But still. Oh, I'm not going to be able to test that in a timely manner, unfortunately. Like, I actually just disassembled the only TVs that were near my house. Nor do I have, like, the TV shows have all been off for a long time. I'd have to completely exit my run and do all that. So unfortunately, that's not something. I would be surprised if that stacks, but I do know that, you can read the books and then watch television, and that can be super powerful. Sure thing. But, and then there's also a bug that I won't go into details for, because, you know, if you so wish, you can look it up yourself. That, you can, while using multiplayer, effectively rewatch the same shows again and again and again to get the XP again and again and again. Oh, Telegram with slow reader. No. Yeah, there's also the exercise bug where you can abuse that too. Like, there's a lot of stuff. If people want to bug the game to, like, get super fast XP and all that, there's all sorts of way. Right. And I get it. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at, too. It's like, okay, you know, it's, and this is the thing. However you play the game, if you're having fun, congratulations, you're playing the game correctly. For me, doing stuff that, like, blast through the XP and speed level and all that, like, that to me isn't fun. For me, the fun is the climb, as it were. So if I can just watch like 6 TVs at once and just shotgun my way past all of carpentry, it's just I've effectively removed part of the game. And again, I get it that people enjoy that. I know a lot of people, more than actually doing the exploit, enjoy figuring out the exploits. And I think that, like, that to me is a cool thing, is the people who go, well, what happens if I do this thing I've always done, but instead I'm using an auto-clicker that goes 1,000,000 times per second? What will the game do? Is the game smart enough to not allow that? Like, that can be fun, kind of tinkering and research. But, like, when someone just gives me an exploit, it's like, oh, but I don't wanna. Like, there used to be ways to make bases that were completely indestructible by putting stuff like TVs and that in the way, because the zombies wouldn't damage the TVs. And people were like, oh yeah, you can just make your base invincible by just doing this with a TV or a microwave or whatever. Like, but why would I do that? Like, then the mechanic of the zombies being dangerous doesn't exist, and that's kind of a core mechanic of the game, in my opinion. But, like, that same extent, that's the same way I feel about with, like, the zombification. And I know a lot of people turn off zombification. That's cool. Like, if that's what's fun to you, do it. For me, then the game, like, I don't feel zombies are dangerous anymore. And that's for me personally. Let's just go with these sinks for now. Yeah, I'm okay with the trait rework. I am also concerned only because I actually find the traits are in a really good place in my opinion. Like, don't get me wrong, there's a few traits you can like single out and say that particular trait needs love and all that. But there's a lot of traits I'm like, okay, but it's good. Like, the death trait is extremely punishing, and I think that's a good thing. I do think there's a place for traits that's saying, hey, this is a run-defining trait. It's that bad. Yeah, that is one of the things that makes me curious. I would like them to consider doing traits that are adaptable. So like your character, depending on what you do in the game, can gain and lose negatives. Kind of like the overweight thing. But yeah. Well, short-sighted now actually does do something. Short-sighted hurts foraging. Like, considerably hurts foraging, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, no, and I agree. And that's actually one of the things is I have a lot of people who go, oh, this trait's free points, that trait's free points. I'm like, I actually disagree. I personally don't think any traits are free points. I also don't think there's any traits that, you know, hands down just... I don't get why I can't put that there. Oh, do I not have a light bulb anymore? Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's the whole manageable thing is the reason I say there's no such thing as free points. It's just like, okay, well, all of them, you have to do something to make them work. Let's see. No, thirsty can be annoying. Like, that's the thing. I've had people say, thirsty is free points. Like, I've had runs where I'm like, oh god, I need water. Because I'm not near a body of water to get water, so it's like, oh no, I need water. Like, things are bad. And people are like, thirsty is free points. I'm like, no, in that run, like, I would be dead if I had thirsty. But it's a totally manageable thing if you're near a body of water or have a decent water supply and all that. Just like the thing, I think there was one that you need to eat more and all that. And I've had people say, oh no, that one's terrible, or oh, that's free points. And I do appreciate that people disagree. That's usually a good sign is when people can't agree if something's, you know, trivial or actually tough. How right at 508, I had one time someone cashed in push-ups, and instead of doing 5, I did 8. That's basically the entire story. We have to put a wall on this so I can put one of these lights from this side on that side. Not this light bulb. Do. There we go. All right, Now I'll get those in a moment. I'm being distracted by whatever's happening with this. Thank you. Alright, so I owe 5 push-ups and I'm going to get those and I'll be right back. Okay, let's see, I need to document those. If I'm not mistaken, I only have one more push-up to cash in for stream because people have been on point with those cash-ins on it. Alright, so now's a good time for a character to sleep. We've got a bunch of things set up.